We found out recently that there's 87 asylum seekers who are waiting for medical services on the island, which is quite a lot. I mean, there's over 1,000 men currently in the detention centre, but for 87 people to be waiting for medical services is a bit of a worry. This is particularly when we had the man who died from septicemia a few months ago. The reason that there was a lot of criticism was that there was quite a delay in the response. He cut his foot, and then by the time he got to Port Moresby, he was already brain dead. So there was a lot of criticism.
If he'd been treated early, he would have been fine.
Well, I mean, we can't speculate, but we can say that if you are treated quickly with septicemia, you can be saved. If you're treated within the first few hours, then you can definitely be saved. So, yeah, the fact that there's 87 people waiting on the island is a bit of a concern because you don't know what kind of problems they might have or what kind of complications may arise.
So you know this number 87, but do you know how serious the conditions they're seeking medical assistance for?
So of the 87 people who are presenting injuries at the Manus Island detention centre, a lot of them have resulted from the riot that happened in February. So a lot of people were injured. We had one person who died, Reza Barati, in this riot, and it was when local employees and police stormed the compound, and there was a lot of kicking, there was a lot of punching, rocks were being thrown. So now we're seeing people who are having long-term consequences of that. There's one man we've heard of who has hearing loss. He was stamped in the foot by police, and now he can't hear properly, and he constantly hears this ringing when he goes to bed. There's another guy whose hips and knees keep seizing up. He's passing blood in his urine. He's still very unwell, and he hasn't been seen for a doctor since September. So now, again, complications keep arising for these people, and it's all through IHMS, and IHMS write these letters to them saying we are aware that you have these injuries and we're going to work on them, but the delay between when they get the letter to when they actually see a specialist is quite concerning.
And you've obtained some photographs. What do they show?
The photos, it's a bit of a before and after Photoshop. So before the Ombudsman arrived, because he went to go and inspect the centre, it shows some really unhygienic areas. There's like mould on the floor that's so dark, it's black, incredibly unhygienic. You look at it and think this place needs to be torn down. And then after, they had this massive clean-up before the Ombudsman arrived, and now it looks, it doesn't look great, but it looks a lot better than what it was. But it just shows you how much power there is when people do come to arrive at these kind of centres and inspect it, and how the clean-up took place. It was quite interesting.